to create art. This is my first robot geisha in pencil. I did my first exhibition at Soho Art Gallery. I always find the old and the new side by side in Japan. Art comes from seeds of inspiration. Some ideas are discarded and some ideas end up as finished pieces of work. This type of art is my hobby. The other type of art in my life is my full-time job. And my timing is out. The other art is ART. This is assisted reproductive technology. This type of art creates life. It couldn't get any more creative than that. These are the seeds of inspiration needed for art. Gentlemen, these are your swimmers. And ladies, this is what your egg looks like under the microscope. Women are usually the theme of my artwork, and a woman is born with a genetically determined number of eggs. At birth, we have millions. At a teenager, this decreases to thousands, and over 35, as little as 1,000. It is popular for women to freeze their eggs. Sometimes we have to induce ovulation, but if a woman's natural cycle is healthy, we use that. This is an ultrasound. This is a follicle. Inside is the egg. When it reaches 20 millimeters, we collect the eggs 3 days later. This is a natural cycle, so you have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and then it's hatched. Sometimes we try artificial insemination, but sometimes we have to use IVF, in vitro fertilization. Culturing. Japanese culture inspires my art. There are lots of spheres in my art. Maybe they are eggs subconsciously. People's image of egg culturing is cloning, making the same person. This is illegal, and culturing eggs simply means growing the egg outside of the body in a special solution. This is an oocyte pickup. The eggs are removed from the woman into a test tube, and they are grown in a dish with a special solution and fertilized. If successful, the embryo is transferred back inside the woman. In vitro culturing, from day 1 to day 5, we culture or grow the eggs in the same conditions as inside of a woman's body, in a special solution with no light, and is incubated at 37 degrees. They are checked every day to see what stage of growth they're at. This is how an egg grows. The fluffy coat, which is COC, is removed so that we can see how old the egg is. 2pn, over here, is when we fertilize the egg, and then it divides to 4-cell, 8-cell, compaction, morula, blastocyst, and hatched. Technology. Japan has amazing technology, and that inspired me to draw this geisha, who is being assisted with her lipstick. We all need assistance at some point in life. Although technology changes fast, we still combine modern and traditional in science. Conventional or traditional fertilization, the sperm is introduced to the eggs in a dish. It's kind of like omi-ai, but in a dish. ICSI is intracytoplasmic sperm injection, and I'm sorry boys, but we crush the tail of the sperm to disable it and fertilize the egg. This is ICSI, and we choose one very handsome otokomai looking sperm and inject it into the egg. The entry position is very important so that the egg does not break, and the needle is withdrawn very slowly by a very skilled member of staff. Another art technology is assisted hatching. If treatment is not successful, we help the egg hatch. We make a small hole in the outer layer using a needle or a laser. This is hatching, and this is when it's hatched. If ICSI is successful, the embryo is transferred to the uterus using a catheter. This is a very simple procedure and requires no anesthetic. This is the last task for an embryologist after we took care of your egg over those 5 days. Here are my robot geisha. These are twins, and that seems to be an egg moon, maybe. IVF treatment is connected with twins and multiple births, but we try to avoid this as much as possible. The limit is 2 embryos per transfer, and we only recommend it if they tried and failed treatment. Sometimes unexpected immature or young eggs are collected, and usually clinics don't use these, but we rescue them and we use a special medium until they are mature enough to use for ICSI. The polar body means that it's mature. Studies say that wearing tight pants can lead to a low sperm count. So gentlemen, I would like you to throw away your tight pants. If there is no sperm, we take a small piece of your tissue from your testes. Men are thinking, ouch, but it's okay, you are actually asleep for this procedure. Cryopreservation means freezing with liquid nitrogen. Male cancer patients can freeze their sperm, and embryos and eggs are frozen for future use. This is when we shrink it, and this is after we froze the egg and it recovers. This is a storage tank with liquid nitrogen. This is my clinic. It's our clinic in Osaka. We work in very dark conditions because light actually damages the eggs. This is the reproduction center that I work in. I would like to thank you for looking into the world of art, and if you have any questions later, please feel free to ask me.
Thank you. Assisted reproduction is pretty common and not very taboo in the West. How's the situation in Japan?
It's actually really common. We have a lot of people here and many patients, but the law is different to other countries, but we're hoping that that changes soon.
And then with the sort of fertility crisis that they have in Japan, or the birth rate crisis, are you getting more and more business in?
Actually, I think it's more to do with society and the fact that women are marrying older and their age of maternity is older. So at the moment, we have a lot of freezing of eggs to decide what you want to do at a later date.
And finally, where can we see your art?
Maybe Soho Art Gallery. Where's Celio?
Celio will be our last presenter tonight. Well, thank you very much, Kate.
Bye.
4枚ずつスライド出てくるんですけど、その4枚にも共通のテーマが一応用意はしてあります。
So 4 slides, 20 seconds each, and in between each presenter there's a quick 10-second break, so please pass the mic.
で、ペチャクチャスタイルといいますか、1枚につき20秒ずつ今から語っていただきます。で、10秒の時間を置いて、次の方にマイクをどうぞ回していてください。
Okay, well let's start with the lovely Ayaka.
Thank you.
めっちゃ海に浮かんでですね。はい、めっちゃ簡単に行かせていただきます。で、私、今日これ来て、明日の朝から友達と、千葉県出身で、琵琶湖の小狩りを泳いに行くんで、これ見ながら、とりあえずこんな感じですごい晴れてほしいっていうのが、今、私のすごい大切な願いです。皆さん、その海とか行かれました？めっちゃセグがあって、なんかリール感もすごいあるんですけど、多分その海とかこういったり、他の子供たちもいると思うんで、そういうこと今日の一番最初にすごい怖い気がする。
Good evening. So in the summertime, often it's very hot outside, and this is a scene we can often see of the dogs so suffering from the heat, so they are kept inside, of course. Do you guys keep your pets inside or outside during summer? Hopefully inside. It's kind of cruelty to animals. So this year when I went home, we often have the campfire in the backyard, and this is one of the most best fun times we can have because we can talk to one another and share stories about what we've done over the past year. And fireworks or sparklers. Often we take the sparklers and make the designs like hearts and happy faces, etc. It's a very fun thing to do. And finally, in the summertime, often we can take very wonderful pictures of sunsets, sunrises, perhaps make it look very interesting, almost like a scene from a movie or romance. Who knows?